Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 24th of October, 2023. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 finished the day up slightly, reversing 3 poor sessions. By the close of the market, the bourse had risen 0.2% to 6,857 points. We talked about the miners getting trashed yesterday. Much better day today with Lynas Rare Earths, Core Lithium, Perseus Mining, Regis Resources and Pilbara Minerals all doing well. The more defensive stocks like consumer staples, healthcare and utilities were among the worst performers. Fortescue Metals Group was the best of the large caps, jumping 2%, while Rio rose 1.5% and Santos added 1%. Woolies and Coles were poor performers, as was Newcrest Mining in its penultimate day on the market. Story number 2, the past month or so has been all about bond yields. Yields on 10-year US notes hit 5.02% yesterday. That's the highest in 16 years. Now, a couple of very high-profile investors, billionaire Bill Ackman and PIMCO co-founder Bill Gross, are saying it's time to buy bonds again. Now, a quick explanation here. Stay with me. Yields rise when bonds are sold off. The recent sell-off reflects expectations of higher interest rates, though it's fair to say there's also plenty of reasons to like bonds given the geopolitical and economic uncertainty around at the moment. Remember, bonds are a good place to be in bad times. Anyway, bonds have been sold off and yields have been rising. If you can get a higher return in the bond market, it makes equities less attractive, and that's part of the reason equities haven't done so well. Anyway, Ackman and Gross reckon the sell-off has gone too far. It's time to buy bonds again. That was enough to push up the price of bonds, thereby lowering the yield. Hope you followed me on that one. Story number 3, not a huge amount of corporate news around. Bega Group held its annual general meeting today, and while sales of some spreads like Vegemite are going well, not so milk. A local shortage at a time global prices are falling is squeezing profit margins. Some good news in the buy now, pay later sector. Zipco reported a 32% jump in September quarter revenue, and its share price rose 8%. Wasn't good news for medical glove and surgical suits group Ansell. Its share price fell 1% after it said the COVID-19 boom for the company would be over at some point early next year. And commuter bus and tourism group Kelsian, previously known as Sealink, says domestic travel demand is holding up despite cost of living pressures. Kelsian operates businesses including Captain Cook Cruises on Sydney Harbour, Kingfisher Resort on Fraser Island and the ferry to Kangaroo Island off South Australia. Its share price rose nearly 2%. Story number 4, suburban Canberra will be at high risk during the upcoming fire season, while Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne are also facing an increased fire threat over December and January. Researcher Ken Cato from the Disaster Forecasting Service Early Warning Network said vegetation growth in some suburban areas could mean a particularly tough season, according to AAP. The warning comes just as some parts of the country are expected to hit 40 degrees tomorrow. And story number 5, Israel sent tanks and troops into Gaza to carry out intelligence gathering raids while its Air Force bombed Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon. It's in preparation for war, though there has been a fair bit of stalling ahead of a well-telegraphed major ground offensive. Israel said its incursions into Gaza went deep and were targeted at a squad of terrorists preparing for the next stage of war. Meanwhile, Israel's defence minister said the broader ground offensive could take up to 3 months. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that US officials are recommending Israel not rush into launching a ground offensive until Washington has a chance to get military assets on the ground and prepared for use. Also, Hamas said it released 2 more hostages, both elderly women, who were taken when it attacked Israel. But the possible release of a group of 50 captives has been stalled over Hamas's demand that fuel be delivered into Gaza. The United Nations has called for an immediate ceasefire, but US President Joe Biden said that can't happen until all hostages are freed. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 24th of October, 2023. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X and Facebook. Join Adam Lang and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.